Have you ever struggled with procrastination? Or how about overwhelm? Or how about self-criticism, that inner critical voice in your head? Have you ever struggled with any of these things and you wonder, how might I overcome these obstacles? Well, stay tuned in this episode where I'm going to teach you easy ways to overcome those three things using something called tapping, or what's called emotional freedom technique. Welcome if you have never joined an episode of the Online Gathering Place. I'm your host, Leah Petrucci, and I'm a licensed mental health counselor and a holistic health and lifestyle coach. And these live streams are guided self-care activities, for me to teach a technique on how to calm the nervous system, how to boost mood, how to reduce stress. And I've been doing a series these several weeks on tapping, or what's called emotional freedom technique, and how to use this really easy and quick technique to calm the nervous system, to work through emotions, to process thoughts. There are so many ways that tapping can be used in our daily life. And tonight's episode is, how are we going to use tapping for those three things that I mentioned earlier? So we're going to address how to use tapping to overcome procrastination, how to use it to reduce feelings of overwhelm in the body, and how are we going to use it to just help us overcome those self-criticizing thoughts that we get, that negative self-talk. So we're going to do tapping on those three things tonight. So if you've never joined us, this is the Holistic Healing Network, which is my YouTube channel. The Online Gathering Place is also available on other platforms as well. You can tune in three places. The Online Gathering Place is live on my YouTube channel, which is Holistic Healing Network, also on my Instagram page and my Facebook page. I'll go into more details at the end about how you can tune in. But wherever you're watching from, if you are watching live, I would love to know where you're watching from. You can just put that in the chat and say hello. And at any time during the live stream, if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts that come up that you'd like to share, any comments, I would love to see them. And if you're watching the replay, same thing. You're welcome to put any questions that you have in the chat, in the comment section, and I will respond to those. So let's get started, shall we? If you've missed any of the other episodes, you're welcome to go back and watch the replays, which are housed on my YouTube channel, which is, again, Holistic Healing Network. So if you've missed any of the other episodes that I've done on tapping, I've talked about tapping, how to use tapping to reduce feelings of emotions, to reduce intense emotions. I've talked about how to use tapping with health and wellness, if you have any kind of chronic illness or any physical ailments. I've talked about how to use tapping in practicing better eating habits and weight loss goals, to reduce cravings. Tapping can be used for so many things. Tonight's episode, we're going to talk about how you can use it to overcome limiting beliefs, what we call limiting beliefs. So in other words, beliefs that just hold us back from accomplishing our goals or doing the tasks that we need to do in our daily work, in our lives, at home. And so that's what we're gonna do tonight. So let's get started with the three scripts that we're gonna do tonight. But before we do that, I am just gonna quickly review the 9 tapping points that we're gonna use. If you've never watched a video where I've gone over the 9 points, then now would be a great time to learn. If you already know the 9 points and you're watching this on replay, you can of course fast forward through the 9 points and go straight to the script. Okay, so 9 points. The first point is the side of the hand. So all you're going to do is just tap, tap, tap the side of the hand, and we call this point the karate chop point because it kind of looks like you're doing a karate chop. So you just take a couple of fingers, doesn't matter how many, and you're just going to tap alongside the side of the hand. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 is the eyebrow point, what we call the eyebrow point. It's really just where the eyebrow ends, right where it meets the nose. So right there, however many fingers that you use does not matter as long as you're giving some stimulation to that area. You can also choose to rub the points, or you can touch and hold, whatever level of stimulation feels comfortable for you, and you can always switch it up. The next point is the temple, so the side of the eye there. And you can also choose to do both sides if you like. I'm just going to do one for today because I'm going to need a free hand to read the script, but you can use one hand, two hands. All right, the next point is underneath the eye or at the top of the cheekbone there. And the next point is underneath the nose. And you can go, to the side like that, or you can go long ways like that, whatever way feels comfortable for you. Next point is the chin. So kind of in the middle, the crease there. And then the next point is the collarbone. So where the collarbones meet in the middle, you're going to go down an inch and out about an inch. Doesn't need to be exact because we're not doing acupuncture. We're not using needles, so we're not getting that precise, just as long as we're getting that general area. So getting the collarbone point there. And then the next point is the rib cage. So just the side of the ribs, a couple inches down from the armpit. And then the last point is the top of the head. And you can use a flat hand here, or you can use fingers. So that is a quick rundown of the 9 points. And what you're doing is you're just giving gentle stimulation to those 9 different acupressure points. So tapping is basically combining traditional Chinese medicine of using acupressure points to calm down the nervous system. What we're doing when we give those points the gentle pressure is we're getting the blood and oxygen flowing. We're also getting the lymphatic fluid flowing. And that is in turn sending a calming message to the brain, the part of the brain that controls the fight or flight response. It's just sending a calming signal to that part of the brain to calm down. So it's very soothing. It's very soothing action using touch, using gentle touch to soothe the nervous system. And at the same time that we're going to be doing the tapping, I'm going to be walking you through a script, where you won't have to worry what to say. You're just going to repeat after me when I instruct you to, and you're going to process your thoughts and feelings on these particular topics. So that's the 2 different modalities meeting in the middle. We've got traditional or ancient Chinese medicine, and then we have modern psychology meeting in the middle. And it's quite fascinating, all the things that tapping can be used for, which I'll talk more about at the end. But let's go ahead and get into our 3 scripts that I have for y'all tonight. So the first one is about procrastination. So what I want you to do is picture something or think about something, a task that you've been procrastinating on. Like, you need to do it and you just don't want to do it. Like, just imagining doing it is overwhelming. You just don't even want to think about it, frankly. It's just not something you want to do. So you keep putting it off and putting it off. And maybe you're the kind of person that works better under pressure. I hear that a lot with my clients is I like to wait until the last minute because I know I have a deadline and I know I'll have that adrenaline energy and I'll be able to get it done. So I purposely wait until that last minute and then work under the gun, like under the pressure. And that's not really, a very healthy approach, even though, it may work in the short term. In the long run, it causes a lot of dysregulation in the nervous system, a lot of like adrenaline and fight or flight. And then you have to come down from all of that. You have to recover, and you almost feel like you have a little bit of an energy hangover after something like that. So what I'm going to teach you is a script that you can use anytime. You can actually go back and watch the replay of this video anytime you need to tackle a task that you've been procrastinating on, and see if it will help you to move forward and just blow through that task. So think about that task that you've been procrastinating on and give it a number between 0 and 10 of how much anxiety you feel when you think about doing that task. So 0 is I don't have any anxiety at all, which is probably not true. And 10 is like the worst anxiety I can imagine about doing this task. So give it a number between 0 and 10, and then we'll tap and then we'll re-rate that number when we're done with the script. Okay, so I want you to follow along with me and out loud if you can. If you can't, that's okay. And repeat after me. So we're going to start on the side of the hand, the karate chop point. Repeat after me. Even though I really don't want to get going on this project, I just don't want to deal with it. I accept where I am at this moment. Even though I would really rather keep procrastinating, I am learning to accept myself. Even though I really don't want to deal with this, and it's so much easier to just put it off, I am learning to love myself and accept how I feel. And that statement may be hard for some people. And if it is, then change it. Change it to make it work for you. Some people struggle to say, I love myself, because maybe that's not where they're at yet. And that's why I say, I'm learning to love myself, or I'm learning to accept myself. One of those, or make it work for you, or completely change it to something else. I give myself permission to relax is another one you could use. All right, let's go on to the eyebrow point. Repeat after me. I just don't want to deal with this. I would rather just put it off. It just feels like too much. I don't really have the time to get it done anyway. Okay, switch to the side of the eye now. And I don't want to deal with making decisions on it. I already have so much to do. I can't make room for this project right now. And besides, I work better under pressure. Okay, go underneath the eye. I will probably feel more like dealing with this tomorrow. But what if I don't want to deal with it tomorrow either? I really don't want to do this right now. It just feels too hard. Okay, let's switch underneath the nose. But what if it's not too hard? Maybe I am just putting too much pressure on myself. What if I could just take one step forward? I don't have to do it all right now. Okay, good. Switch to the chin. I don't have to make the perfect decision. I don't have to do everything perfectly. I can just take one step forward now. Okay, switch to the collarbone. Doing just a little bit. Feeling safe to get started. I can see myself doing this one step at a time, taking breaks. I can see myself accomplishing this task. I don't have to do it perfectly. Okay, let's go to the side of the rib cage. All of the stress in my body thinking about this task. Part of me doesn't want to do it. And I put so much pressure on myself to do it right and to get it done. Top of the head. What if I could release all of this pressure from my body? What if I could let it all go? Letting go of all of the stress and pressure around this task. All right, I want you to keep tapping. We're going to go to the eyebrow point now. And I don't want you to say anything out loud here. I just want you to think about the biggest reason that you have for feeling for this procrastination. What is the biggest reason that you have? Just think about it and reflect on my words as I say them. So I want you to imagine completing this task. Envision yourself doing it, sitting down, taking the time, blocking off the time on your calendar, shutting off all distractions, putting on some music that you can focus to, that's going to help you to focus. If that helps you, if it doesn't, doing whatever you need to do to help you to focus. See yourself writing that email or balancing your bank account, cleaning up that clutter, paying your bills, making that phone call. See yourself doing that task right now. Just envision it. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Switch to the side of the eye. Whatever you're procrastinating on, see yourself doing it. And just tune into any resistance that you have, any resistance that you may feel in your body. And when you see that image of you completing the task, what do you feel? Let's go underneath the eye. Is there fear? Maybe I'm not going to do this right. Is there fear? I'm not going to get this done. I'm not going to have enough time. I'm not going to be focused. I'm going to be distracted. There's a deadline. Is there anxiety, which is basically fear? Or what else? What else comes up as you see that image? Maybe frustration. Okay, go to the underneath the nose. Feeling that stress and tension in your body and just feeling the release. Allow yourself to feel the feelings, but then also just allow yourself to start to release them. Feel any emotions or any memories that may come up that may be holding you back. Just allow yourself to see them in your mind, to feel them, and then let go. Sometimes that's what we need, to let go. Okay, go to the chin. So see yourself completing the task. Imagine what it would feel like to have the task completely done, crossing it off your to-do list, feeling all the feelings that you get, that dopamine rush of, oh, I got this thing done. I've accomplished this task. It's been on my to-do list for so long. And oh my gosh, it feels so good that I got that thing done. Imagine what that would feel like. Feeling safe, strong, confident. Maybe it's a boost of self-esteem, confidence booster. Like you can breathe again. And just watch as all the resistance starts to melt away. And just feel that new energy coming forward. All right, let's go to the collarbone now. And by the way, if any of these points don't feel good to you, then just skip them. Just go to a different point. Go to one that does feel good to you. As the resistance melts away, you can find a part of you that says, I want to do this. It's going to feel so good to get it done. I can do this. I've done it before. I've done hard things before. I've completed things that I procrastinated on. And I know what it feels like to check it off my list. I have that power within me. It's time to get this done. It would feel so good. It would feel so natural and safe to get this task completed. Okay, let's go to the side of the ribs. Just feel that energy in your body and feel the joy that comes with it. The joy of completion, of accomplishment, the strength. And even imagine like making it fun. If there was a way to make doing this task fun, would you be more inclined to do it? Entertain that for a second. What are some ways that you could make this task fun? Go to the top of the head now. Could you couple it with your favorite music, your favorite playlist? Could you couple it with like a movie or a TV series that you've seen a million times in the background, something that won't distract you, but something that you've seen a million times that's just like a familiar sound in the background? Would it be fun to reward yourself afterwards? Pick something that would be rewarding that you only get when you accomplish the task. Would that make it more fun? Or what else? What else could you do that would make it fun? All right. So you're getting it done. Imagine you're getting it done, that it's happening. It's time. Feel all these great feelings in your body as the resistance just melts away and you're ready to go. All right, let's put our hands together, rub hands together, take a deep breath in and let it out. And put your hands over your heart if you wish, or your belly or your legs. I like to just rock back and forth a little bit. And remember, you can go back and watch that video anytime you need to. In fact, anytime you need to complete the task, it might be a good idea to play this video. You can fast forward right to the part where, there'll be chapters that'll tell you exactly where to go to start each tap. All right. Did your number decrease, by the way? Re-rate your level of anxiety when you thought about the task. You thought about how much anxiety that task was giving you. What was your number before we did the tap? Now, what is your number? Did it go down at all? Even just a point? If it didn't go down, that's okay. You can always do this again. You can do it as many times as you need to. All right, so we're going to move on to the second tapping script of this live stream, which is about overwhelm, which goes hand in hand with procrastination. We procrastinate because we feel overwhelmed. That's the main reason that people say is the reason that they procrastinate. They feel overwhelmed and it's too much mental effort to think about doing the task. Also, struggling with focus. But let's do the one on overwhelm. I can find it. All right, give me 1 second here. Okay. All right, so what I want you to do is think about something you feel overwhelmed about. Is it work? Is it a relationship? Is it your to-do list? Is it a task that you have procrastinated about and you just feel overwhelmed? Your nervous system is going into fight or flight. You can't focus. You can't seem to calm down. Maybe your body is reacting. Maybe you're having some shaking. Maybe you're just fidgeting. You're biting your nails. Just whatever it is that happens that your body does when you feel overwhelmed, when your nervous system has had too much. So this is going to be a great script that you can do at any time when you feel overwhelmed. So start by rubbing hands together. Think of something, again, that is making you feel overwhelmed, that's creating that feeling. And give it a rating 0 to 10. Take a deep breath in and out. All right, karate chop point. Repeat after me if you can. Even though I really can't focus on one thing right now, I am learning to accept how I feel. Even though it is so hard to get focused on just one thing, there's just too much I need to do. I am learning to love and accept myself. Even though I really can't get focused, and I feel like there's a million things on my to-do list, I am learning to accept myself and my limitations. I can't do everything all at once. Okay, let's go to the eyebrow point now. I just can't seem to get focused. There is so much I need to do. I don't have time to focus on just one thing. Maybe when things calm down, it will be easier to focus. There's just too much going on at the moment. And it's so hard to focus when I feel this overwhelmed. Okay, side of the eye. And maybe that's okay. Maybe I can give myself a little break right now. If I let go of this overwhelm, I can release this need to know everything and to do everything. And all at the same time. Okay, underneath the eye. It's okay if there's a lot going on, because I don't have to handle it all right now. I can start by letting myself release these feelings of overwhelm. And then perhaps I will be able to do these tasks one at a time. Okay, underneath the nose. I can release this overwhelm from my mind and release it from every cell in my body. I can choose to let it all go. And I can choose to focus on one thing at a time. Let's go to the chin now. Knowing that eventually I will get these things done. I'm feeling focused in my mind, body, and spirit. I choose to release this feeling of overwhelm now. Okay, take a deep breath in. Rub your hands together. That was a short one. And let it out. That was a rather short one. But that's okay. Sometimes that's all we need. We just need a quick one. Some of these are longer than others. All right, so let's move on to the next one. So re-rate your level of overwhelm. Did that help just take the edge off? Did it help bring down the overwhelm just a bit? Sometimes just, giving yourself permission to not be perfect at something and giving yourself permission to, hey, you know what? I don't have to do all these things at once. Like I can take a little break and just calm down. I can just take a little break and just tap for a minute or two. Calm down. Even if you don't know what to say and you don't have access to these videos, just tap the points, whatever points you can think of. It's okay if you don't remember all 9 points. Just do any one of them that you remember and just keep tapping that point. Collarbone. That's That's my go-to point. If I can't, when I was first learning and I was like, what was the next point? I don't know. Okay, collarbone, just tap. And then once you learn these, if you keep watching the videos, then you will eventually get the points, and it'll be so easy. And you have these scripts, so you won't have to figure out, well, what do I say? And at the end of the video, I will tell you how you can access an app where it has all of these scripts in an app for you. So stay tuned for that. But let's do one more, which is releasing that inner critical voice. So think of a time when you have just really struggled with negative self-talk, and you've really just beat yourself up, like, I'm so stupid, or I'm never going to get this, or I suck at this, or whatever it is. If you're just like shaming on yourself, that's what we're going to address next. If I can find it. Okay, 42. So we call it the inner critical voice. We call it sometimes we call it the critical parent voice is sometimes what it's called, the critical parent voice. And it's just kind of, it's meant to be an analogy to kind of like a shaming parent, like, you shouldn't have done that. I'm disappointed in you, like that kind of voice that, doesn't always have to like come from a parent. Sometimes we're just hard on ourselves, right? Because we want people to like us. We want people to see us as valuable. We want to perform well at work. We don't want to get in trouble, like with our boss. There's different motivations for different people. So I want you to think of something that you have lately been shaming yourself for, that inner critic voice. We also can call it the inner saboteur. So think of a time or even a thought. What have you been telling yourself? And if you would like to share, I would love to hear it in the comments. If you're live or if you're watching the replay and you have, something you've really been struggling with as far as like a negative self-talk. I'm so fill in the blank. One of mine lately is like, I shouldn't have done that, right? Well, I'm not perfect. I am not a perfect human being. There is no such thing. So why shouldn't I have made a mistake, right? Like we do that. We make mistakes. And guess what? We learn from them. Like that's the reason behind making mistakes, so we can experience them and then learn from them. So let's go ahead and do this one on quieting the critical voice. So get a number in your mind of 0 to 10 of how critical you think you have been towards yourself lately. 0 is not at all. 10 is like, I'm so critical, and or somewhere in the middle. So give it a number, and let's start tapping on the side of the hand and repeat after me. Even though I have this critical voice in my head, I am open to relaxing and letting it go. Even though I can struggle to quiet this critical voice, I choose to love myself. Or you could say, I am learning to love myself. Or you could say, I am learning to accept myself, whatever resonates with you. Even though it's hard to picture being free of this critical voice, I am open to releasing it. Okay, let's go to the eyebrow. This critical voice, every time I feel hopeful, this voice just creeps in and brings me down. Okay, side of the eye. It says things like, don't get your hopes up. Good things don't happen to people like you. It's just too good to be true. You can't do that. I'm so stupid. I'm never going to get this. Or whatever you're saying to yourself. Okay, underneath the eye. Part of me wants to quiet this voice, but part of me wants to listen to it. Because I wonder if it will motivate me to change. Sometimes I think that the critical voice keeps me productive. Go underneath the nose. This critical voice keeps me pushing for more. This critical voice keeps me safe from disappointment. Is this really true, though? And chin. All of these old beliefs that I may have picked up from my past. Maybe I picked them up from a parent, that critical parent voice. Maybe I picked them up from a sibling. Or maybe I picked it up from a friend or social media. Are these beliefs even mine? Okay, collarbone. It is impossible to thrive under such self-criticism. It's hard to grow when I allow this voice to weigh me down. I thought I needed to listen to this voice. I thought it was the responsible thing to do, to motivate me to change. Okay, top up. We missed this ribs. But this voice just does not serve me or others. This voice, this critical voice, is simply my fears. And it is safe to acknowledge my fears and then to work on letting them go. Okay, top of the head. I am ready, or you could say I'm getting ready to quiet this critical voice. Or you could say I would like to be ready, wherever you're at. Maybe I don't need to fear this voice. I can make peace with my critical voice. Let's go to the eyebrow again. I can accept my critical voice, that it comes from old beliefs and fears. But I am in control now, not my old beliefs, not other people, not their opinions of how I should or should not be. Side of the eye. I am in control now, and I choose to live in my truth. My truth is, I am not perfect, and that's okay. I can choose to learn from mistakes without punishing myself. Okay, underneath the eye. I can choose to listen to my compassionate voice, which is much more soothing and supportive. And empowering. Okay, underneath the nose. I promise to be a better friend to myself. And when I hear this old critical voice, I will simply smile and shine a light on it. Okay, chin. I will become aware of my critical voice. and thank it for sharing. But then I can choose to let it go. Collarbone. Because I am in control of my inner voice. And I choose to remind myself daily that I am enough. I remind myself that it is safe to try, that it's safe to make a mistake, and that it's also safe to succeed. Ribcage. Because no matter what happens, I choose to be a good friend to myself. Just as I would be a good friend to a loved one, I want to be a good friend to myself. Top of the head. This criticism has only held me back. And I now choose to nurture my spirit with kindness and optimism. Okay, let's rub our hands together. Take a deep breath in and out. All right, and with wherever your hands want to go, if they want to go across the chest, if they want to go on the belly, if you need to rock. For some reason, I always feel like rocking after tapping. It's just, I'm expelling the energy that we've just brought up. So I really like that one. Re-rate your level of discomfort when you thought about the inner critical voice from the beginning. Did the number go down at all? If not, that's okay. You can always repeat this anytime. So, love to know comments, what y'all thought of that one. That was probably my favorite of the night because I really resonated with, the reasons why we speak negatively to ourselves. The reason why we have that inner critic is it gave the reasons. Like, I think it keeps me productive, or at least that's what we tell ourselves. We tell ourselves, well, it's helping me be productive. It's motivating me for change. It's like pushing me to do more. It keeps me safe from disappointment. But what is it? What's the payoff? Or what's the consequence? That's the payoff, actually. What is the consequence? What is the negative side effects, so to speak, of what happens when we push ourselves? Well, we feel shame. We feel guilt and shame. And honestly, it doesn't motivate me. Then I just feel bad about myself. And it actually lowers my energy, lowers my ability to focus. And it doesn't feel genuine. So to me, self-criticism is a disservice to myself. And in the end, there is a better way. And that way is to be more self-compassionate, is to be more of a coach to yourself. Instead of being like a drill sergeant to yourself, think of it as, which would you rather have? Would you rather have like a bossy, mean, demeaning drill sergeant? Or would you rather have like an encouraging, empowering, guiding, leading coach? Like, yes, you can do this. Like a cheerleader. You got it. You can do this. Let me help you. Like, I think most people would choose the latter, but maybe not everybody. Some people resonate more with someone who's a little bit more like direct and like in your face and a little bit more confrontational. And that's just, a difference of opinion in what style you respond better to. But what we're talking about here is when you really you cause harm to yourself in using demeaning language, calling yourself names, like, for example, I'm so stupid. I'm so fill in the blank. I'm such a loser. I'm so pathetic, whatever it is. I'm never going to get this. Those words are harmful. They cause harm. They're demeaning, and they cause shame. And those emotions don't cause good feelings. They don't cause high vibration in our energetic system. They cause very low vibration, meaning just you sometimes don't even feel like you can move, like even numb, like a feeling of numbness, a feeling of disconnection. Those feelings that cause that. Guilt and shame, sadness, depression, anger, all of those types of feelings cause a very low vibration in the body. And like I said, disconnection as well with others. You don't want to connect with others. You struggle to connect with yourself as well. So a better solution would be to practice self-compassion, and tapping can help you do that. It can, by doing the tapping, by going through the script, by tapping the points, calming your nervous system, giving your nervous system the signal that it is safe. I am safe right now. We're talking about some difficult thoughts and feelings, but I'm in a safe place, and I'm sending a signal to the brain like I'm safe, I'm okay. It's very calming and soothing. So that's why it works, and that's why it is coupled with the emotion processing, because it helps you to work through difficult thoughts and emotions while simultaneously calming down the body. So I hope y'all enjoyed those scripts tonight. If you want further help with tapping, there is an amazing app that you can get your hands on, and it is called the Tapping Solution. I'm going to put it up there on the screen. So you can download the app on any phone. You can also go to the website, which is thetappingsolution.com. There's two ways that you can continue your tapping practice. One is you can download the app. There's a free version, but of course you won't get access to all of the tapping meditations on the free version. If you would like to try the premium version and get access to all the taps, I have a link that I'll put in the notes that will get you 50% off. All you have to do is put your name and email, and then you'll get that opportunity to reduce it for 50% off. It brings it down to around $47 for an entire year of tapping meditations at your fingertips. At any time you go scroll through and what am I feeling today? What am I thinking? Bam, that one right there. And it brings up a script. And some examples are ones that I've done videos on in this series. So I've done a video on how tapping can help you with health and wellness goals, help you with things like weight loss, food cravings, can help you with dealing with intense emotions, can help you with limiting beliefs like what we did tonight. It can help you with finances, which is what we're going to talk about next week. So stay tuned for that one. It can help you with health issues like with chronic pain, like any physical ailments. Do you have a headache? Do you have a stomach ache? You have a backache? Do you have a chronic illness? It helps with that. It helps with relationships. I also did a video a couple weeks back about how it can help you with communication in your relationships and so many other things. There are all these categories in the Tapping Solution app, and all you have to do is you can even put in a keyword and search for that keyword, and it'll come up. And almost any time there will be a script that will almost match exactly what you're going through. And if there isn't one, it's really neat. All you have to do is request that they make one, and they will. I love this app. It's definitely one that I rely on in my daily life to just get me through the day, and also helps with sleep. That's another one we're going to do. Next week, we're going to do, it's either the one on sleep or the one on financial support. I think that it's financial support. So I would love it if you would join us next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I do these live streams every Wednesday at 7. And I'm almost wrapping up this series on tapping. There's, I think, one or two more on tapping before we wrap up the series on tapping, and then we move on to a different topic. So if you are in need of further help and you actually you like the tapping, I use tapping in my one-on-one sessions with my therapy and my coaching clients. You could read more about what I do as a licensed therapist and as a holistic health and lifestyle coach on my website. You can go to leahpetrucci.com and I'll tell you more about the different areas of specialization that I have and the kind of work that I do with my one-on-one clients. I also have a group for women that you can check out on my website. I offer you a free consultation, and you can schedule that by going to the website and click the link that says Get Started, I believe it is. And you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation. I'd love to talk with you further and see how I might be able to help you in your healing journey, whether you're healing from a mental health issue, whether you're healing from a physical issue, a spiritual issue, a relationship issue. Mind, body, spirit, and relationships are the 4 pillars that I address with my clients. So can't wait to talk to you further and see how I might be able to help you. And I hope everyone has a great night, and I will see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Have a good night.